You need to perform investigation, not meditation. It might be meditative in style, but it is still an active work of reviewing and correcting your beliefs rather than simply dwelling in a passive state. How do you check reality of anything? There is only one way: find real evidence and let that evidence speak for itself. In your case, you need to find the future in your experience. Mere thoughts and speculations are not good enough, as we can theoretically imagine anything, but the ability to imagine it does not yet make it real. The idea of the future, in itself is a thought, and we can label it as such, a thought about the future. It is taking place now, not in the future. It is about the future, but it is not the future itself. We can discard it and start looking for some real evidence of future's existence. So go ahead and find the future in your actual sensory experience: sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches. No matter how stupid it may sound, really look for it, not just come with a theoretical answer. If the future is real, you should be able to find some real evidence. The "therefore it must exist" argument does not count, as it is still a thought taking place in present time, not in the future. Whenever you happen to find something that looks like evidence, check very carefully to make sure it is not a thought. As we discussed, thoughts are taking place now, so they are not the future, they are thoughts. You can acknowledge the thought and its cleverness, then put it aside and go back to looking for the future in your actual sensory experience. Keep looking until you come to a definitive conclusion. And at any time after that, whenever the same or any other belief comes up, don't defend it, don't argue with it, simply do your due diligence and examine the actual evidence supporting it, or lack thereof. That is how you refine your beliefs. The yourself you are referring to is your mind. One of your mind's functions is creating mental images of reality and then believing that those images are real. Thoughts about the future, thoughts about the past, thoughts about what is what means what, all of those the mind creates and believes it's all real. Are you asking for a meditation that will somehow make your mind not to do what a mind does? You want a meditation that will teach your mind to function differently to how it naturally functions? It is rather like asking for a diet that will teach you that your hunger is not real. There is no meditation that rearranges a human mind. Changing mental functions and processes is not what meditation is for. What meditation is for is practicing being aware of who you are. When you are your mind, meditation is a practice of being aware of yourself, the mind. It is a practice of you seeing clearly how your mind functions, what your mind does and how it does it. Meditation is a practice of your ability to see. Once you see yourself clearly, you might be able to see that the mind is not altogether what you are, that you can observe your mind, be aware of your mind without being controlled by it. Should this ever happen, you might be able to see clearly that mental constructs are just that, mental constructs. Not a reality, not clairvoyance. This might happen if you practice being present. This practice takes a long time that is measured in decades, not in weeks. It might happen, or it might not. I'm not sure what you mean there. If it is about teaching yourself that the future is forever changing, that the future is envisioned by our minds as just our best guess of what might happen, then understanding the nature of the mind would be a starting point. If we use traditional Vipassana meditation or any of the Taoist meditation techniques, the beginning technique is to sit or stand motionless, preferably in the morning, and try to focus the mind on a bodily function, such as any physical sensation that, say, the breath creates. It is a conscious and unconscious bodily function. The mind has thoughts bubbling to the surface from our past conditioning, so note as objectively as you can either where they come from in the body, or what is their nature in terms of past or future. Objectivity is the key here. Obviously, your attempt to focus on the bodily function is bringing the mind into the present. Maintain that practice, calmly coming back to the body sensation, noting whether thoughts are past or future. You may notice two things. First, the thoughts are wanting things, or not wanting things to happen, and secondly, where the thoughts originate in the body is very elusive. This is the nature of your conscious mind. In daily life, you have the other body functions, of what you see, hear, taste and smell. The more the mind is trained in your meditation, the more you are able to balance the present of what you see, hear, taste and smell, with the passing thoughts of what may or may not happen in the future. And don't forget to smile, because it is forever changing.